Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs and dogs and property, life, business. Hey pups. Wow, man, I am in so much pain this morning. Woo, it's pretty bad. Hey, good morning there for everybody that comes and watches my channel. Really appreciate it. And boy, I tell you what, I told you 10 hours ago, I don't even think I'd be making a video this morning. I am in such pain with my back. It's bad. It's bad. And I thought, wow, pain. I guess that could be a conversation. I don't think I've ever talked about the pain conversations. And yes, I mean, just woo, brutal. So you've got back injury. Anybody's ever had any type of a physical injury to their body, you know. The pain's just horrendous. And for me right now, it's bad. But here at the Ford Bronco, that's really a pain. A pain. It's this high step of this vehicle that requires you to really, only way you can get in this vehicle is you literally have to launch yourself into this vehicle by putting your foot up here and standing up on the step and then crouching down to get into the Ford Bronco. And I've looked into retractable steps, and as of a few months ago, they didn't have any. Because if you watch my channel, you'll see that I did the retractable steps on my Ford F-250. Boy, talk about a pain. My wife feels that our driveway is really a pain. Because for her, she just thinks there's too many damn vehicles in the front of the house. And it just isn't good. Come on, Pop. Let's go. Come on there, Scouty. He's being a pain. Yeah, the pain of life. Who doesn't know that? Scout, let's go. Come on. Yeah, I got my dog here. So, wow, beautiful Tuesday morning. It's that time of year up here in the Virginia, Maryland area where you just get incredible nice weather. You get about a good month of it, and just perfect outdoor working weather, motorcycle weather. And so it is just a beautiful, and the grass just doesn't stop, and it's a pain because until you own property and you cut grass, you just don't get it. And, you know, weed whacking. And this year I just really kind of have laid back on the weed whacking. So many years ago, I used to do a lot of spraying. But anymore, I just, as I get older in life, I just rather have the pain of looking at things that don't look the best and perfect instead of exposing myself to all these toxins. You hear about the Roundup, litigation, lawsuits, because of people didn't want to go through the pain of having to weed whack their property and pull weeds out of their driveway. So they resorted to the chemicals and toxins, and we all know now that these people have major pain in their body. Come on, Pops, let's go. What are you doing? So here's you two. What are the antics now? Come on, let's go. Get in the office. Come on, get in the office. Yeah, get your butt in the office. Yeah, sometimes these guys are a pain in the ass. Sorry the language there, but oh my goodness gracious. Yes, what I did yesterday, being all my pain. What's really interesting is most of the day yesterday, but last night, oh my gosh, it was just so bad. And I just think to myself, it was 39 years ago, November of '84, that I was in a horrendous car crash. And does that just come back to revisit me? It's just weird. I just pull my back out every now and then from doing some strenuous activity or athletic activity. And it just takes a good 3-4 days for it to subside. So, wow, here's the, look at this here. Look what I pulled out. I pulled out the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT, and I haven't driven this thing. I guarantee you, this vehicle has been sitting for at least 5-6 months. I don't think I've driven this vehicle since last late winter. That would be my guess. And you know what's a really pain here on the car theme of our channel, is these inspections. See this Virginia inspection? 423. Technically, back in April, I was supposed to take this vehicle that has a whopping 3,000 miles on it. Yeah, this vehicle now is, what, 2 years old? That's even hard for me to believe. I don't think so. I can't remember. I think I bought the thing in March of, March 2022. So it's a little over a year and a half old, I guess. But the whole point is, you have to take, in Virginia, it's the worst. You have to take your vehicle to have it inspected so that the greedy monger, service stations and auto dealerships can try to figure out if there's anything possibly wrong with your car to charge you for something to make their living. It's huge in the Virginia area where this state inspection thing is a total money-making ball game for the automotive industry, and it's really bad. And it's a total pain. And the reason it's total pain is you can never just go to the car dealership and drive right in for the car to get inspected. You have to sit around for 2 hours. You may sit around for 4 hours. I see it all the time. I see at gas stations people line up around the whole gas station trying to get their car inspected. And people literally have to take the day off of work just to get their freaking car inspected. Just a total. It's so bad. But the argument would be, oh, but the cars aren't safe. Yeah, right. When does the day come where all the technology, they spy on you, they know everything about the car, that you don't even need to do a actually in-person inspection? The car will just tell the state that the car is either safe or not. That's where it's all going next. All right, but hey, let's talk about the pain. The pains of what makes us do things. I mean, come on. Who doesn't have sometimes a feeling of just so much pain if having to go to work, but you still go to work, right? So I thought I'd talk about the motorcycles. I thought I'd talk about how these motorcycles all have their pluses and minuses, and in some aspects, they're a pain. Truly. So, as I stand up here and walk through the pain of my back, so I thought to myself, yeah, let's talk about how all these motorcycles have a different seating posture, different body posture, different feel, and each one of them has a pain in the ass, more or less. So let's start here with this cheap bobber. The cheap bobber I bought used, this thing had an elevated solo seat that looks like the motorcycle, the Harley motorcycle cop, where they just have this funky, like old, traditional 50s, 60s looking motorcycle. The worst idea in the world. You're so idiotic. Take it the wrong way, but you're just, the bike looks really cool. It rides terrible. It props you so high up on this motorcycle that you become a wind sail for your body, just to be forced, your body just being forced off the bike. And there's no, backrest. So the bike makes you feel like you're going to come off the bike. Just a terrible design. The factory design right there, that's the way it should be. That's the better way. It's a much more comfortable motorcycle, but you don't have the front fairing, so you've got a lot of wind in your face. It's the naked ride. So to me, that's in some ways a pain because you're constantly being beat up by the wind. The Honda Goldwing here, how does it say? The only pain that I would really say in this is this seat is so wide. It's too wide. So the seat on a long ride is not comfortable. It needs to be a different design seat. Other than that, the motorcycle is very comfortable. Same thing here with the Road Glide CVO. This seat is so thin, it gets your tailbone. So after you ride this motorcycle, you start to feel your tailbone is so getting beat up by the suspension and that thin seat that after hours of riding, I crawl off the bike basically. The Honda CB650, more of the kid style bike, but this is a bike where you lean forward. So your body posture, the way your whole body is on this motorcycle, you're leaning forward, and typically what happens is your triceps and your lower back, after riding for a long time, start to really, be a pain. The daughter's Street Bob, and I would go back to no fairing, a lot of wind in your face, but it's not bad. That's a pretty comfortable bike. They changed out the seat. The Indian over here, Pursuit, very comfortable bike. So of all the bikes here, if it wasn't for the front wheel wobble, what a pain in the ass. And Indians continue to build motorcycles, and we can only hope the front tire is the actual problem. The service guy I'm good friends with at the Indian dealer, he's like, but do we really know the tire did fix the problem? I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like that from other YouTubers, but until they put a new tire, on the bike this week, if I even am capable of doing that with my back issues. We'll find out. But a very extremely comfortable motorcycle for the seat, the body posture. The whole bike just is more of that touring, hours on end riding. The Honda Fury here, not so much. This is a freaking chopper style bike. Feet out in front of you. Very thin seat. I can't see after hours of riding that you're just not worn out. And then no front screen. The Scout, Sport Scout, or Sport Chief, can't keep it straight here, but the Chief Sport, this bike here, I think for my daughter, overall, pretty comfortable. I don't know, we haven't had it long enough to really critique that. More of her bike. The Road Glide CVO, I have ridden this bike hours on end. The seat does, over time, kind of start to wear you out, so I do know that this bike here, hours on hours of riding, I think that seat's going to wear me out. The posture of the higher handlebars and how you ride this, for the most part, pretty comfortable. But it wouldn't be as comfortable as this motorcycle here. It just has more creature comforts, the lowers, keeps the air off of you, better, bigger windshield. This doesn't have lowers, more comfortable seat. You just look at the seat and how the seat is designed. It just is such more posture. And over here to the Lowrider ST, it's the daughter's bike. I can't ride this because the way the bike is set up, I'm too tall for it. I'm crouched. My knees go into my knees are just too far up into my body. So this bike for me, I can't ride this bike. It's just too cramped. I rode it home from a Harley dealership in Florida. That was only like a 5-mile ride, light to light to light, or whatever it was, 10 miles, and was not comfortable. For the daughter, her stature, it's a perfect bike. So yeah, each bike have their personalities. Here's the Ford Mustang Mach-E talking about cars and a pain, and this is what the pain is. People, until you buy one of these, is plugging this vehicle in on a constant basis. And the Ford F-150 Lightning truck out here, same thing. The gentleman that used to work for me, he came in numerous times where he forgot to plug in the truck to recharge it overnight. It happened. He had that truck, basically about 6 months, and you have no idea how many times you would come to work and go, man, I totally forgot to plug in the truck last night, because we're also programmed to have to go and pay the pain at the gas pump for the high expensive gas now we have, and you're just programmed to get up in the morning and in your daily routine, you go to the gas station to refill your vehicle to be able to drive it. One thing that's a big pain for me is the birds. I mean, look at this bird crap. It is so bad. I mean, if you watched my channel this past spring, all the birds, they all move into my barn, and then they just start crapping over everything, and it's so bad. And yeah, I've used lots of different things to try to get rid of them, but they run their whole cycle of the birds have their little babies until the little babies hatch and eventually fly away, and eventually they do go away, but it's about a 3 to 4 month ordeal. All right, so kind of, you'd say, what are you gonna go work the Harley dealer today? It's about right, but it's cool up here, and I just pulled this out of my closet this morning. Haven't worn a long time on my Harley adventures, my Harley addictions. At the end of the day, if everything had to go, boy, I tell you what, the Honda Goldwing way over there, that'd be tough. But, the Harley seems to be just more of the favorite bike. And it really is. I mean, the Indian is just a flea on Harley's back. And so many aspects of the volume of what Harley sells compared to what Indian sells. I mean, Harley still dominates the market, but is Indian now a pain to Harley? It is. There's no doubt that the Indian product is taking away sales from Harley. Come on, pups, let's get up here and keep the pain conversations as we walk up the stairs, and get my seat up here and try to keep the morning conversations going that seem to entertain others of what intrigues you to listen to my ideas and views. And I get some really nice comments through my Ice Age TV comments, at gmail.com. I got to sit down here. That's where I was concerned. Is when I sit down, that's going to be just getting in bed and getting out of bed. Wow. So you get, older in life, it gets challenging. My whole camera seems sideways. Yeah, you're sideways, man. Your views and ideology, right? Yeah, so, so once again, the whole conversation this morning really comes down to the amount of pain that I've been into. I just thought, wow, isn't that a good conversation of where we are in today's society? More than ever, we're witnessing the pains of others, the pain of the green agenda, the pain at the fuel pump, the pain of inflation. I mean, the pain thing now, this is very broad and it's very real. I'm reading, honestly, anybody wants to buy a house today? Are you feeling the pain not felt in 20 years, 10 years, because of the higher interest rates, because of the higher cost for housing? It's priced so many people out of the market, and what a lot of people are doing is they're lowering their standards and just buying something very minuscule, but not really what they want because they can't afford to buy what they want because of the inflation of what this country's in. Very confusing times for this Joe Biden. Joe Biden's a very confused individual, and anybody out there who supports him, you should be very concerned of his well-being. You really should. Sincerely, would you want to work for a leader of a company that's confused? Sincerely, would you get up this morning and drive to work? And if the leader of your company was anything like Joe Biden, would you feel good about the company you work for? And the reason I say that is because it's not Joe Biden. It's the people behind him. Joe Biden was chosen because he's the weaker leader that can be manipulated by others to present the message. And so for Joe Biden, the reason I'm kind of talking about this is because it's confusion, and we're feeling the pain from the confusion of the city administration that they're raising interest rates never seen in modern times. That's having a huge pain factor on so many to be able to pay their bills. And at the same time, everything's getting more expensive still. So it's totally very confusing that you raise interest rates to slow things down, to drive prices down, but that's not happening at all. So everything is actually getting more expensive. So Joe Biden's, powers to be and those around him, they're very confused on how to handle for the better of your living. And this isn't anything about me promoting some other candidate. This is just the facts that those who think that Joe Biden is the right person for this country and leader, you should be very, very concerned because this person is ruining it in so many aspects. And wow, just look at the UAW. What is the UAW doing? As human beings, I've taught my daughter this, and I teach others this. As human beings, the way we operate is if I can't get something from you that makes me happy, then I create pain for you. That's just mankind's makeup. It's very sad. It's been going on for thousands of years. It's in the Bible, even God. We have stories of what God did harm and pain to mankind for not obeying his command and his orders. And so here we are today, and it's in some ways, it's getting even worse. That people are going and beating people up and doing very devious things to others because they feel like they're not making them happy or doing what they want them to do for them. So the consequences are severe pain to that individual. And that's what we're witnessing more than ever in our society today and in this country, that others are creating incredible pain because they're not happy with the way that maybe you act or think. And so they resort to devious things and bad things. And that's the green agenda. The green agenda that we're all now part of more than ever in our lifetime, they're creating the pain that we've never have witnessed because they're not happy on how Mother Nature Earth isn't responding to their ideologies and their views. And that you as a citizen aren't playing the game of, eating little to nothing, driving little to nothing, not enjoying, many things and aspects of the life that you're brought up into. So their agenda is to create financial harm and pain to you. And we're now getting ready to possibly witness it even worse than it was a year and a half ago with the fuel prices. The barrel of oil now is up over $90 a barrel. And it really is starting to show light that there is a shortage of diesel fuel capacity. And here's the thing. Here's the leader, Joe Biden, that decided to release the Strategic Reserve Petroleum. And just anybody out there that doesn't know what that is, this country has massive amounts of storage for fuel for the war. If we are in a critical war, we still have infrastructure to supply energy to our country because we have all this fuel storage to enable us to be able to continue to fuel our military and fuel our country without being at the dire straits of running out of energy. But this guy, Joe Biden, decided to release the majority of the oil reserves and petroleum reserves to calm down the oil markets. But his plan, it had a very short-term, pain reliever for people at the gas pump. But now, all the reserves that were released haven't been replenished. So now we're going into very expensive oil again, and there is no plan for Joe Biden to say, well, we just go release, millions and millions of barrels of oil to tame down the market. And no, that's not going to happen. So now, his people behind him and himself, his views are confusing. He's a very confused individual along with all these people that surround him. His views and ideas aren't working, but you will hear all day long on how this country is doing phenomenal. It's at the best hiring rate ever. Well, here's the latest statistics. The government is hiring more people than the private sector. Yeah, so the pain that's being felt by the small business is real. So the big government guys, their presentation is, hey, go work for the government because we're going to make government be bigger. Yeah, is anybody excited about that? Just more bigger government? That just means bigger taxes. That means that you'll feel the pain in your check when your check gets smaller because of you contributing more to the big government to dictate how you live your life and be in many ways, a pain in your life because of how they can basically control you. They're showing over there in foreign countries that these new lights at intersections, it shows an individual doesn't have a helmet on their motorcycle, the light won't turn green. Yeah, this is factual. So they're saying, what's to come in this country as time progresses, the light at the intersection shows a person with no helmet on. When the person puts the helmet back on, the light then turns green. And so you just know that the pain to the individuals that don't want to play by the rule books is going to come. And even for those that really per se aren't really out of bounds too much, and we already know all about the facial recognition and where the digital currency is going and the control of what you can have and can't have. I mean, that's all real stuff that is going to create pain to you to behave differently because of those that have the powers to be aren't happy with you. And so what do? They create pain for you. So here we are with the UAW. And what's the UAW doing? UAW's Shawn Fain is out there creating pain for the big three. And I'm sure many union members have the right to say, and I don't disagree, is that the big three or the big automotive guy they've worked for has created a lot of pain in their life. That they're the guys being forced during the pandemic to go to work. They're the guys that have had to put in a lot of hours to appease the powers to be to keep the production line going. And they've had to suffer through a lot. And then the parts distribution disruption and shortage of workers. So I'm sure a lot of these union people would say, yeah, I have suffered a lot. The story is a lot of them are working 6 days a week, and they've suffered pain from not being with the family. So this guy, Shawn Fain, I mean, I believe that they do have points. I don't disagree whatsoever. The UAW needs to have more money. But this is what I think to myself is let's just do the basic type of common sense. Let's first of all go to the big executives of these companies in the boardrooms and the stockholders, and let's say to them, we're going to double the pay of all these people that have created the monies and fortunes that you have in front of you. And so let's just go to that step first and say, okay, Mrs. Berea of GM, you make $24 million a year. Will you accept a $4 million a year compensation package? Or will you accept a $12 million a year compensation package? And for the board members here, will all of you take really substantial pay cuts? And for the stockholders, the dividends, we're not going to pay those out. So do you agree to these views and ideas that I just presented to you to enable the union people to get pay raises? And what do you think? What do you think the response would be in that boardroom meeting? If you were an individual that you're a union member, or that Shawn Fain went to that first before he ever started all these other things going on, what do you think would be the answer? And the reason I'm saying that is, well, at the end of the day, should the union be able to convince the big three to truly double their income and make their life more pain-free of the work and job they elected to take? Remember, these people all can go work somewhere else. I mean, this isn't the communist country where these people are being forced to go to a factory each day and work. They do have options to go do something else with their life besides go put cars together. So, I mean, at some point you have to look at somebody and say, you do have options. But let's just go back to what I'm talking about. So for you and I, we're going to be the guys that feel the pain. And anybody who watch my channel understands that message instantly. That lady Barara isn't going to take a pay cut. The board members aren't going to take a pay cut. Stockholders aren't going to waive their dividends and their profits. The stock, could even actually become more valuable, possible. So already know those variables aren't going to play out to appease the union. All these people are going to do is raise the prices for everything that you and I, for the most part, rely on to go buy something that gives us satisfaction of having transportation. But wow, you just sometimes think, but when does it stop? I mean, when does the real pain start to show at the auto dealerships, at the manufacturing, that people just are pretty much done, that the pain to the checking account, the pain to their wallet, it doesn't work anymore. And they're just not going to continue to buy these high-end expensive cars, or just expensive cars at all. And that's the main talk now. I don't know what's going on my YouTube channel, but this guy Zach and Ray of Car Edge, these guys are posting videos like never seen before, worse than me. Yeah, all in one day. And the whole conversation is over and over again that the car dealerships are done. Car industry's done. Cars are overpriced, too expensive. The banks aren't lending money. I mean, here's Lucky Lopez. He's showing videos on how the banks are just not lending money to people who buy cars anymore. That the car industry is in a shambles. You see video after video of people walking the lots of car dealerships and are just inventory galore. So there's a whole other thing that, in some aspects, some people think that the big three have a great out right now to look at just getting rid of a lot of inventory. Apparently now we have 60, 70 plus day inventory. Back during the pandemic, the fake economy, you had 3 to 7 day inventory for selling a new car. So in so many ways, would it be actually advantageous for the big three to take a time out and have the union kind of squawk for 30 days and start, curtailing the huge amount of inventory that needs to be brought down anyways? I mean, so the pain factor. But here's the thing. The speculation is if the union really does play a hardball, the pain at going to the dealership is going to be a problem again, because you're going to have to pay even more for a car, because the presentation of the dealership will be so lucky to get this car. Who knows when the union will get their act together and the big three get their act together and come to an agreement on a pay. We don't know when your car's going to come in. So you see this Ford Bronco right here? That's the only one set up the way you like it. It only went around within probably 1,000+ miles or more. And if you don't buy this today at this extremely high price, then we can order one for you, but you're probably next year sometime if you even get one. I mean, that'll be the conversation at the dealer, that the pain to you will be so lucky to get one, and the pain to you would be just even get out a bigger checkbook to be able to buy these things. And I mean, wow. I mean, so once again, the leaders of our country under this Joe Biden administration, the pain that we are feeling is at the highest that we've all been in, I would have to say, a good 20+ years. But yet you have somebody out there that think that this country is just running on a rail and the train just going down the rail and everything's beautiful and nothing really to be that uptight about or concerned about. Here's something interesting for me. I have hearing aids, and for Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's our coverage. I used to be able to get hearing aids every 3 years. And yesterday, I was thinking to myself, boy, it's hard to believe when's the last time I got my hearing aids. It was November of 2019, so it'll be 4 years. So yesterday I was at Costco, I made a hearing aid appointment, but the lady working there said, you better check your provider because the rules have changed. So I get back in, I log into my Blue Shield, Blue Cross account, which isn't cheap. Is anybody feeling the pain of the insurance? I mean, it cracks me up on how this governing body and select individuals brag all day long about what they've done for the insurance industry. They made it so much cheaper and so much better. I mean, who's smoking? What are you smoking? What drugs do you do on a regular basis? I mean, come on. I mean, I think I have said it many times. The drug tests need to be mandated for these political figures. I mean, it's bad. These politicians, they're all just a bunch of boozers and potheads hanging out half the time, partying with people to get money shoveled into their bank account to rerun for an election and appease these select companies that are going to enrich themselves off of this individual sitting in front of you telling you the way it's going to be. It has to stop. It really does. It's out of control. The whole point is, for me, the policy rules and guidelines have changed. I'm now once every 5 years. So, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not like, okay. And they've lowered the amount of money. So it used to be they would pay up to $3,500 every 3 years if I need to upgrade my hearing aids. And just so you know, they didn't do this years ago. So 2005, 6, 7, my brother is 85% deaf and has no hearing in his left ear. He can only hear out of his right ear. And there's been no loving for the deaf people in this country with insurance. I mean, that's a fact. It just wasn't here in the last maybe 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years that the insurance industry finally started advanced, hearing. They started helping people that had hearing issues. They started doing copay and helping you pay for your hearing issues. And boy, oh boy, talk about people who have some freaking serious hearing issues. Yeah, I think we got a bunch of political figures in power that have radical hearing issues. But here's the whole point. So our insurance has gone up. We're paying more. Our deductible is way more than it used to be. If anybody here knows about insurance, but the argument would be, but more people now have access to it. What, the illegals? yeah, the illegals, right. Yeah, the illegals have more access to the health industry in our country more than ever. So I wonder why your premium's gone up. Wonder why your deductible's gone up. The list goes on and on and on again. And, you can't be turned down at the emergency room. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not here trying to be critical of anybody, but the reality is, so for me, okay, so higher insurance premium, higher deductibles, now a longer duration time frame of when I can replace my hearing aid, and
a lower amount of money that's allocated for me to be reimbursed for the money I spent on the hearing aids. Yeah. Wow. So the pain, the pain for me is really it's a pain for my wife and others around me because I'm so loud because my hearing, I have severe hearing loss. It's a gene. It's on my father's side of the family of severe hearing loss. And so when we were all came in this physical world, we got that little, gene to follow along with it. It's through my father's line of family. So, yeah, the pain. What is the pain? So, what is the pain? The pain right now for October is all these college people that are now adults have to start paying for their college tuition again. Now, which was I think turned off like in the March, April, or May or something of 2020. So these people have all had the a great run of not having to pay any their college tuition loan money, but it's going to start back up in October because Joe Biden hasn't been able to get a percentage of those people's tuitions and payments waived. He got other people's, but that was ongoing bill from years ago that he did that. If you watch my channel, you understand more about that. But the whole point is the pain of the pocket, and they're saying right now it could be $100 billion taken out of the economy of monies because of these people now have to start making their loans payments again. So there's now huge speculation that all this free money's been floating around for the last 2.5 years plus is going to disappear even more. And what's going to be the pain felt at the retailers and the car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships, and the list goes on and on and on. Does that start to play out? I don't know. A lot of Dire Straits YouTube videos out there that constantly predict the pain that is coming to you, and then the price of gas, no doubt. We're all getting ready to possibly feel the highest price gas again since now, over a year ago. And so does that give my electric vehicle more value? I mean, does the value, and I was watching a thing on news the other day, a gentleman went to a car dealership and he's befuddled. He doesn't really know the car industry, but he's asking the car sales guys, he's trying to get his kid a car for college, what all these funky looking cars are. The Mustang Mach-E is, and there's just rows and rows of them. And the sales guy's like, oh, that's an electric vehicle Ford made that we can't sell. Yeah. Is Jim Farley? Oh, it's Chris Farley. Thanks for my one subscriber out there getting it right. Jim Farley is the cousin of Chris Farley, the comedian, actor who sadly passed at a very young age. But yeah, so is Jim Farley going to start feeling the pain for this decision to go electric? I mean, wow. Yeah, I think he is. But at the same time, the Green Agenda's goal is for you to feel incredible pain for your eating habits, your lifestyle, your driving habits. And if you like the Ice Age, then you're going to be even more pain because you're going to pay extremely high prices to get energy. Yeah, so it's the Ice Age. Here's Ice Age TV. If anyone wants a sticker, it's just email me at iceagetvcomments@gmail.com and I'll mail you a sticker. I've got people that are, believe it or not, people do like this sticker and they're asking for it. So anybody out there that wants to promote the Ice Age because it's the fossil fuel age. And yeah, what are the people going to do? What are these radical people going to do? There's no doubt in my mind. As time progresses, they'll be burning these car dealerships down. When do they go set the gas station on fire? No doubt in my mind, that's probably going to play out. You're a disgrace to be selling gasoline and fuel. That's where it's all going because they want you to feel pain. And there's a lot more in depth to the pain factor, but I'm out of time. And for us, we got some other individuals around us that want you to feel the pain of the way you think and because of their radical views and ideas. And it's just incredible what we're witnessing around us, that others are trying to create pain for you to curl up like a little baby and put your thumb in your mouth and give up. That's where we are in today's society. And don't do it. Don't do it. These are people, they're the ones that are a pain. So everybody, hey, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate all the nice comments, support, and my back, thank goodness, is actually feeling better right now. I'm feeling less pain. Everybody have a great day. God bless. Stay safe. Stay tuned. And I do have to go to work.